Now imagine the Holy Father being spied on by the NSA during the conclave that elected him last year. That's according to an Italian newspaper. But before he became Pope Francis, one of his closest friends, a prominent Argentinian rabbi, took the measure of this man in a much more open way. He talked to him for hours and days and even weeks and years. And their conversation is the topic of a book written by both and called On Heaven and Earth. And close Vatican watchers say it provides as good a guide as any to the Pope's hopes, his dreams and his theological leanings on all the hot-button issues. So I sat down with Rabbi Abraham Skorka to see where this highest-profile interfaith friendship may lead. Rabbi, welcome to the program. Thanks for coming into the studio.
It's my pleasure.
Let me ask you what everybody wants to know after your book has come out. How did you forge your friendship with now Pope Francis? How did it begin?
The beginning was through jokes about what we call in Argentina football, the American soccer. But behind the jokes was a message. I understood then that he sent me a message. I opened my heart.
Obviously, there's a lot of skepticism still amongst many Jews about the Catholic faith, about the actions of the Pope, particularly Pius XII, during the Nazi period, during World War II. This Pope, when he was cardinal, has talked about opening the Vatican archives. Do you believe he will set a date for doing that?
So he told me that, and so it appears in the book.
I'll put up the quote because it's very important, and then we can discuss it. Then Cardinal Bergoglio said, "Let them be opened and let everything be cleared up. Let it be seen if they could have done something to help, and until what point they could have helped. And if they made a mistake in any aspect of this, we would have to say, we have erred. We don't need to be scared of this. The truth has to be the goal." So how did you read that? It's a very frank admission that he's prepared to finally answer all the questions about what did the Church know and when did they know it?
And surely that he will do what he said that it has to be done.
You also did talk about those terrible years in Argentina, the military dictatorship of the 1970s. It was known to a large extent as the Dirty Wars. And in the book, he talked to you and was very frank about the role of the Catholic Church at that time. He compared, for instance, the way the Argentine church dealt with the dictatorship compared to where the Chilean church dealt with their dictatorship and stood up much more strongly to the dictator there, Pinochet. He said in the book, "The way you wanted the Argentine church to act was the way the Chilean church acted." What do you think he meant by that?
It's a critic to the Argentinian church. It's very known that some priests, Catholic priests, were present in the places where people were tortured. And he criticized a lot this kind of priests. And so it appears in the book.
And what did he say about his own experience during that time? There have been many questions, as you know.
Yes, he has a very critical point of view regarding his own attitude during that period, asking himself, did I do the utmost which was my possibilities, but what we know, and now very clear, that he helped a lot of people, he saved a lot of people.
There's so many different constituencies who look at this Pope now, Pope Francis, and they want to know what he's going to do on any number of issues. Let's just take the woman issue. Describing yourself as someone who's very familiar with the Pope, who knows the Pope's thinking, you said, "Were all the decision power in his hands, he would do a lot. He would do a lot." What can you tell us about what you think he might do about the role of women?
I am not so sure exactly in a pragmatical way what he will do. But what I am really sure is that he will analyze 1,000th time what is possible to be changed. He will open the debate. That's the first point, because don't forget that he has a history of 2,000 years behind him. And how to change that? He has a very open mind in order to analyze all the themes. For him, there is not a closed theme, even homosexuality, even abortion, to analyze. Now, how to change, I cannot foresee.
And on celibacy,
even
priestly celibacy,
yeah,
he said in the book, it is an issue of discipline, not faith. It can be changed.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that he really wants to delve into deeply and possibly institute changes?
So he said in the book. He said that, he told me, I don't remember if this appeared in the book, but he told me, look, I received this tradition, but I know this is not a dogma. This is just a tradition, and maybe that in the future it could be changed. I don't remember if these words appeared in the book, but,
yes,
during our conversations, it shocked when why I remember this so clear, because I remained shocked when he said, in the future could be. This is my tradition, but in the future. And it could be that he will pave the way, not in his papacy, but in another papacy to come, that another one would change that.
What is your observation of the difference between the cardinal and now the Pope, who you know so well, and his predecessor, Pope Benedict?
He laughs more.
He laughs more.
He laughs more. He smiles more. He used to smile, but now very much often. He laughs with a big laugh. Why? Because he knows that he must transmit, and it's coming out from his heart, because he knows that he must transmit an image of hope, of hope through his love. Now, the differences between Ratzinger and my good friend Francisco. He lives with his mind in heaven and with his feet on earth. And Ratzinger lives totally on heaven.
Rabbi Skorka, thank you very much indeed.